Our keynote speaker for this morning is a pioneer in creating safe access and wider access for medical cannabis patients in Germany. As soon as they took it off the narcotics list, he put up a website what was it, telemedicine, a telemedicine website which allowed people to really get involved and take advantage of the new rules. And he's going to come talk to us right now. Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Dr. Jan Ansay.
Hello, Berlin. Hello, everyone. Best morning to you, especially after such a great party yesterday. I'm happy to see, many of you. And I'm Dr. Jan Ansay, founder of dransay.com, the marketplace for cannabis pharmacies in Germany. We are revolution leader, innovation leader, and market leader for online cannabis therapy. And we made ordering medical cannabis in Germany as easy as ordering a pizza. And I see many people from USA on this trade show, also Alex, so I want to quote one of your great speakers. And I take pride in the words, ich bin ein Berliner und konsumiere Cannabis und das ist auch gut so. For those who don't speak German, it means I'm a Berliner, I consume cannabis, and that's good, because that's what we have to do. We have to fight the stigma. But let's start today with some seconds of silence for all the victims of the prohibition during the last decades, for all those who were convicted by courts and by society, and for all those patients who had to suffer. And 10 days ago, it was a 420 day. I held a speech here in Berlin at the Brandenburger Tor, and it was Easter Sunday, the day when all the Christians celebrate the resurrection of Jesus as the Savior of all Christians. But we celebrated cannabis as the resurrected Savior of all mankind. And that's the good news of salvation that we have to spread now to the whole world. And therefore, let's also celebrate all the heroes who made this resurrection possible, who fought for decades courageously for the legalization of cannabis. For example, Judge Andreas Müller and der Micha in Germany, who were here yesterday. For example, Alex Rogers, who made this trade show possible and also fought for decades for the legalization of cannabis. And DJ Muggs, who started in the 80s already to publicly consume cannabis and fought for the legalization of cannabis. And I also fought for the legalization of cannabis. 4 years ago, I spread kilos of cannabis seeds in front of the German parliament and in the garden of the German chancellery, for a prosperous future. You can see the viral TikTok videos right now. And we even founded a political party last year with the music video and the slogan, "Cannabis stays legal for everyone from pharmacies." And it was really at stakes, because the CDU-CSU party, which is coming to power now, made it their slogan to ban cannabis again. And we achieved it. It's now a reality. Cannabis stays legal for everyone in Germany from pharmacies. And I mean for everyone. For all of you, even for tourists, you can now go easily online and order cannabis with the prescription included, and either pick it up from pharmacies or they send it to you very easily. So we don't need any dispensaries here in Germany because we already have them in all cities, even here in Berlin. And they're called pharmacies. So we don't need any full legalization in Germany because we already de facto achieved it. And even better than anyone could have dreamt of. Because pharmacies are already out there. They have a selection of hundreds of flowers and extracts with prices starting at €4 per gram. They offer mail delivery. They have their expertise. So what the government couldn't do, because they failed so many times, in Germany, unfortunately, we achieved the full legalization. And to quote another famous speaker from USA, I would say, free at last, free at last. Free from suffering, free from stigma, and free from prohibition. And I have a dream. I have a dream that one day the people on the Oktoberfest will drink alcohol-free beer with extracts of cannabis or psilocybin rather than poisoning themselves with alcohol and waking up the next day with a hangover and a strange, unattractive person. And the fight will continue. We will fight for the freedom of magic mushrooms, psilocybin. That's our next mission. People ask me, how did you come up with this idea? How did you make it possible in Germany that everyone can get a cannabis therapy this easy? And can we learn from it to achieve the full legalization around the world? And I say, yes, we can. To quote another US president. And this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of us. We have a great mission. We are in an industry with the greatest product of the century, which changes the life of millions, maybe even billions of people worldwide to the better. And they will tell their children and their grandchildren who made this possible around the world. And that's all of us who work in this industry because we changed their life to the better. And this is not just like any other medication. Because cannabis not only makes people's life better, more healthy, makes them more peaceful, more creative, and also changes the mindset of the world. And there's a reason why cannabis is a religion in Jamaica. And a question for you guys to show the creative power of cannabis. What do you guys think? Who's the most famous writer in the history of mankind? You have any idea? Shakespeare? Any other idea who's the most famous writer? Who? The Bible, yeah. Not bad. There was research now in the garden of Shakespeare's house, which showed 4 tobacco pipes, and all of them had remains of cannabis. Any more questions? I mean, this shows the power of cannabis. And that's what we need these days in this society. And we're all part of this. So first, let me explain the service, because so many people ask me, how does it work? Which clinic are you working with? Which doctors are you working with? It is really as easy as ordering a pizza. So you just choose from hundreds of flowers or extracts. You can compare prices from different pharmacies, effects, indications. You can filter. Then you fill out a questionnaire. Then an online doctor verifies the data within minutes and sends the prescription to the chosen pharmacy, which then sends you the cannabis, or you can pick it up. And we started 2018 with online doctor's notes for paid sick leave, which were quite similar. Because of the same technology, I came up with the idea 2019 also to offer cannabis with telemedicine. We didn't have the capacity at that time because it's quite complicated at those times. You know, you had to have like a narcotics special prescription. You had to print it out on a special printer. You can only order 200 of the prescriptions. Then you have to order again from the authorities. So really a pain in the butt. But then 2022, we were ready to focus on cannabis. And since then, we introduced all the innovations for online cannabis on prescription that made this great market possible that we see today, that we're all benefiting from today. So we were the first ones to offer the fully online user journey without going to a doctor's office to get their prescription. We were the first ones who already in 2022 started with this marketplace for cannabis, with this user flow. So people didn't have to ask pharmacies, do you have this product? And then go to a doctor, can you give me the prescription? And then send the prescription somehow to the pharmacy. No, it was as easy as ordering a pizza. And then 2023, finally the government started to do some action because they promised to fully legalize cannabis. But as we know, the government in Germany, they failed. They made a law which was against European Union law because it's not allowed to offer recreational cannabis in the European Union. So the only way is medical cannabis to reach everyone in Germany. And I'm also a lawyer, by the way. But then finally, the law came. I think it was mid of March 2024. And within 1 week, we already offered this service, and we came up with the next innovation, which was the fully online prescription without talking to a doctor. And that was very relevant, because only because of that, we could increase the number of orders from around 30 to thousands of orders per day, because there are not enough doctors in Germany who can have a consultation with patients to treat thousands of patients per day. They're just not out there. So it was the only way. And then, of course, we had many copycats who always copy our innovations. And I think that's good, you know, for the competition, also for the market to have this energy for the best benefit of the users. And the last innovation was now that we introduced anti-aging as an indication to get a cannabis prescription, which means that even healthy consumers can order cannabis because everyone is aging. And this made it accessible for everyone, even for recreational users, as long as they don't want to age. Because we had many critics, especially from the CDU, CSU. Markus Söder is the biggest enemy of cannabis legalization. And he said, patients are misusing our service. They're not really sick. Or he said, the black market is flourishing because the government didn't make sure that people can buy their recreational cannabis. So these arguments are not valid anymore because anyone can get cannabis legally. And we had many problems also with authorities, but no one questioned the business model of our service. The only problem they had was like information on the website because of the prohibition of advertisement for drugs in Germany, which is not a big problem. And we had like a documentary from a major TV station. They really wanted to look for a scandal in our service. But the only thing they found was that a doctor didn't have a practice sign in front of their practice for 1 week. And that's what they showed as a big scandal. So what you really need to lead such a revolution is courage, creativity, busyness, brains, and heart. Only then you can really make it possible. You cannot count on the government to do all of this. You know, you guys know they're lazy, they're stupid. But we have the power to do this. And what can we learn from this? The next step is to achieve the full legalization around the world. And we can do it this way. The legal markets are very fragmented in Europe, as you guys know. There are many problems. We have a great legal team and a great team in general, so only that's why it's also possible. So we can, of course, do lobbying. That's what we have to do now, all together, to go to the governments in the European Union, around the world, to tell them about this success we have in Germany, about all the benefits we have. Now, the evidence is on our side. No one can criticize the legalization of cannabis anymore. We have reduced crimes. We have judges who say there are many benefits. We have the clinics for addiction who say there's not a big difference now. And we have the taxes that are paid. So our most successful pharmacy, for example, have a guess how much revenue they made only because of our marketplace last month. How much revenue with cannabis products? Have a guess. How much would you say? How much euro revenue they made in March? One pharmacy. Any number? 2.5 million. That means $500,000 in VAT alone for the government. So this is such an economy factor and such a benefit also for the pharmacies that there's no reason anymore to ban cannabis. So we have to do lobbying, we have to convince the government, or we even have to found political parties as we did. So we will fight. If we have the will and the persistence, we will achieve this. I'm living in the future as a tech entrepreneur, and I see the future. It's only a matter of time. So guys, believe me, it's just a matter of time. Maybe it takes 1 year, maybe 5, maybe 10 years, but it will come. And we already conquered the biggest mountain in Germany. So everything that's coming now, it's like domino game. Other countries will more easily follow. And I don't know how much time I have. You're out of time. I'm out of time. Oh, sorry. Okay, that's my last words, everyone. So rock on. Make that change, and may the force of nature be with you.
Dr. Jan Ansay, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It was great words. Appreciate it. Continue to be a pioneer.
Just one thing.
One more word.
Just one more thing. Just to present the service, we have a booth here where you can order medical cannabis, and it will be delivered here to all of you within 60 minutes.
Nice. All right. I might do that because my pretendinitis has been acting up.